Let's talk about the story we got from Project Veritas that broke just a moment ago. We have this from Project Veritas. I tweeted out, breaking from Veritas, Twitter employee confirms bias at Twitter. And I'll give you my opinion. Seems I was right. Because conservatives tolerate leftist speech and leftists won't tolerate the right, Twitter opts to censor the right as balance. So I'll play a bit of this, and you can hear from himself.
What do you mean? Free speech. Capitalists, if we weren't really operating like capitalists more, we were very socialist. Like we're all like communist.
Ideologically, it does not make sense, like, because we're actually censoring the right, not the left. Because everyone on the right wing will be like, bro, it's okay to say, just gotta tolerate it. The left will be like, no, I'm not gonna tolerate it. I need it censored, or else I'm not gonna be in the platform. So it does serve the right. It's true, there is a bias.
I don't know the two parties can truly coexist on one platform.
What do your colleagues say about it? Like,
They hate it. Oh my god, I'm at least like okay with it, but some of my colleagues are like super left.
what do they say?
They're like, this will be my last day if it happens. So.
Has much changed since?
So I'll pause it there. I think we all know the stories about the political leanings of people at Twitter's stance. If Elon gets hired, they're like, we're out. But for me, when I saw this, what I found interesting was what I've said before is it's a business decision. You got to take a look at it from Twitter's perspective. People like Ben Shapiro are memed for saying, debate me, right? The right wants to own the libs. They want to be on Twitter. They want to argue with liberals. So they like seeing these tweets. Libs of TikTok is a really good example. Libs of TikTok reposts the things the left says. Like, see, hey, look at this. On the left, however, they're the ones that are flagging. They're the ones saying these people should be banned. You mentioned earlier that some of these people had violated the rules and that they had been suspended.
Yeah, sure.
They could come back. So my point, a couple weeks ago was, if Twitter is confronted with this from a business perspective, they're going to say the right doesn't care if the left is saying things as much. The left does care if the right is saying things. So purely from a business perspective, we'll ban as many on the right as we can without disrupting as many users as possible. And then we don't got to ban the left because the right's not going to do anything about it anyway.
Well, I mean, Twitter has a very clear... Well, first of all, I just want to say that Libs of TikTok, there's a little bit more than just reposting what leftists say on TikTok. We could get into that maybe in a little bit. But on this topic, Twitter has a pretty clear set of rules and guidelines on their website. And it seems like maybe just right-wing accounts break those policies more so than left-wing accounts. I know plenty of people who got banned or suspended from Twitter for just literally saying like, fuck you, or, something like that. And they get the, this is not part of the Twitter policy. You're suspended for, and I know people who got suspended, not even just to delete the tweet and come back, people who got suspended outright had to start new accounts for something like that.
Are you familiar with Learn to Code?
Yes.
So they were, the editor-in-chief of the Daily Caller was commenting on the phenomenon and got suspended for it. So there were tons of people. And I think this may be what we're seeing come back with the big surge in right-wing users, at least partly.
We also have to be careful with this video here. Project Veritas has a long history of disseminating edited footage.
Well, I mean, everybody posts edited footage.
No, I mean, edited footage that, they got sued by people who lost their job. They're probably James O'Keefe. Acorn, when Acorn went out, when Acorn was closed down because James O'Keefe released that pimp video, if you recall that.
Yeah.
He got sued and he lost because there was more video to it. And everything he said that this woman didn't do, she actually went ahead and did. He had to pay her. He had to pay.
I think he settled that. I don't think he lost, but you can call it a loss in terms of.
I mean, if you're settling.
Well, has he lost anything since he formed Project Veritas?
Maybe we have to check.
No, the answer is no. He hasn't.
All right, maybe he hasn't.
And so like we've had James on the show, we talked to him about it. He said settling was the biggest mistake he made because they weren't wrong, but I don't want to put words in his mouth because I can't speak to this. This was before he formed Veritas. Since Veritas has been around, they've not lost. I'm pretty sure they've not lost a single lawsuit. In fact, they've won over and over and over again.
Wall.
Yeah, and there's a whole wall of all the news organizations who have backed down and rescinded everything. So I'm pretty sure he's not lost anything.
Yeah, and that lawsuit was not necessarily just about them claiming they were misrepresented. A lot of it had to do with California's two-party consent laws with respect to recording somebody.
Was that it? Yeah, California's two-party consent.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I think my issue with the Veritas stuff and the arguments against them easily exemplified by, I think it was Channel 4 in the UK did the exact same thing Veritas does, and it was just heaps of praise all across the media. A deceptive, like they lied to the targets. They go in and they say like, here's who we are, and it's not true, and then they secretly record them and then they publish it on the news, and it was praised by all the big mainstream publications. That's exactly what Veritas does. So if you do undercover reporting, then I mean, I don't see what the issue is.